If you are over 75 and you can still smell a rose, fresh coffee, rain on warm pavement, and soup simmering on the stove, your nose is not just working. It is sending a message about the rest of your body. Here is what most people get wrong. Losing your sense of smell is not just an annoying part of getting older. It can be an early warning sign. Remember this number, 39%. Stay with me until the end, because that number should shake your sense of safety about one ordinary habit you may be ignoring every single day. Most people treat smell like a luxury sense, nice to have, easy to joke about, but smell helps protect your appetite, your memory, your safety, your joy, and in many cases, your independence. If you cannot smell smoke, spoiled food, gas, or your own illness creeping in, the problem is no longer small. It becomes about whether you stay steady in your own home, cook your own meals, catch danger early, and keep the deep human pleasure of food, family, and memory. This is not about perfume or flowers. This is about how long you stay fully yourself. My name is not the point tonight. I am a physician, and for more than 15 years, I have cared for older adults, read peer-reviewed research, and watched thousands of patients teach me the same lesson. The body whispers before it screams. I am not here to sell you a supplement or scare you into a course. I am here to give you the plain truth in language you can use. And later, I'm going to show you one of the most overlooked tools for protecting smell after 75, a simple 4-cent routine that sounds almost too basic to matter, but it matters more than most people think. Before we go further, tell me your age in the comments, or the age of the person you are watching this for. I read every single comment. Truly, it helps me understand who I am speaking to, and it helps build a community of people who want solid information, not noise. First, let me give you the short science lesson you need. There are 3 core mechanisms to keep in mind. Number 1 is airflow. Odor molecules have to reach the smell sensors high inside your nose. Think of your nose like the front gate to a garden. If the gate is swollen shut with inflammation, not much gets through. Number 2 is nerve health. Those smell sensors connect to the brain through delicate nerve pathways. Think of those pathways like electrical wires wrapped in soft insulation. Poor sleep, uncontrolled blood sugar, smoking, and disease can fray those wires over time. Number 3 is regeneration. Your smell system is one of the few sensory systems with cells that can renew themselves. Think of it like a lawn that can regrow if the soil, water, and light are right. But if the ground stays dry, inflamed, or starved of nutrients, the lawn thins out. Keep those 3 ideas with you: airflow, nerve health, and regeneration. We will come back to them again and again. Here is the first reason some people over 75 still smell every flower. Their nose is open enough for the signal to get in. Here's what it does inside you. Smell begins with contact. If the inside of your nose is swollen from chronic sinus trouble, allergies, or thick dried mucus, the odor never reaches the sensors well. Think of your bloodstream like a river delivery system, but think of your nasal passages like the loading dock. If the dock is blocked, the package does not move. A study in the International Journal of Otolaryngology looked at 33 patients with chronic rhinosinus trouble. Among those older than 65, 33% had mild smell loss, 34% had severe smell loss, and 33% had complete smell loss. That is not a small number. So what should you do instead? Start simple. Use a gentle saline rinse once in the morning and once in the evening if your doctor says it is safe for you. Keep indoor air from getting too dry. Treat stubborn allergies instead of living with them. And if one side of your nose is always blocked, if you mouth breathe at night, or if food suddenly tastes flat, ask for a real ear, nose, and throat evaluation. Let me tell you about someone I will call Helen, 80 years old, from Tulsa. She told me, "Doctor, I thought my cooking had just gone bad." What she really had was months of untreated nasal swelling. After her nasal care routine became regular, she noticed the smell of soap first, then oranges, then chicken roasting with rosemary. My first reaction was not fear, it was frustration, because so many people assume the loss is permanent when sometimes the front gate is simply swollen shut. Synergy tip: pair nasal care with hydration. Dry tissue does not carry scent well. Number 2 may surprise you. Some older adults keep their sense of smell longer because they keep moving, especially with regular moderate activity. Here's what it does inside you. Movement improves blood flow, lowers inflammation, and supports the tiny nerve structures that help your nose and brain talk to each other. Think of circulation like a delivery truck route. The more reliable the route, the better fuel and repair supplies reach the neighborhood. An analysis of National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey data looked at 3,527 adults who completed both smell testing and physical activity measures. The researchers found that some markers of an active lifestyle were linked to better odds of correctly identifying odors by up to 7.4%. In that same analysis, more frequent moderate activity was tied to better recognition of warning smells like smoke and familiar smells like leather. The benefit, if you adopt it, is not only for your nose, it is for the whole chain: heart, brain, metabolism, balance, mood. So what should you do instead? Do not wait for a perfect exercise program. Walk for 10 minutes after 2 meals a day, or take one brisk 20-minute walk most days of the week. If walking is hard, pedal a seated cycle, march in place while the kettle warms, or do 5 rounds of sit-to-stands from a sturdy chair. The goal is moderate effort. You should breathe deeper, but still be able to speak. Let me tell you about a man I will call Robert, 77, from Dayton. He had one habit. After lunch, he sat in the same recliner for 3 hours. When we changed only one thing, a 12-minute walk after lunch and dinner, he came back 6 weeks later and said the smell of cut grass on his street felt stronger. He also slept better and felt steadier getting out of bed. Number 3 is nutrition, especially zinc and protein. Here's what it does inside you. Smell receptors are living tissue. They need raw materials to repair themselves. Zinc helps many enzymes do their jobs. Enzymes are tiny workers that keep cell processes moving. Think of zinc like the screws and hinges in a door you use every day. You do not notice them until the door stops working smoothly. Protein supplies the amino acids, the building blocks your body uses for repair. A 2024 analysis of 2,958 NHANES participants found that daily zinc intake in the range of 9.60 to 17.45 milligrams was protective against olfactory dysfunction. In the crude model, higher zinc intake was linked to an odds ratio of 0.63. In plain language, that means roughly 37% lower odds of smell dysfunction. That is not a small number. So what should you do instead? Aim for zinc from food first. Oysters if you eat them, beef, beans, pumpkin seeds, yogurt, eggs, and fortified cereal. At the same time, make sure breakfast contains real protein, about 25 to 30 grams if your own physician says your kidneys can handle it. Greek yogurt, eggs, cottage cheese, or a protein-rich breakfast can help. If you are thinking about a zinc supplement, speak with your doctor or pharmacist first, because too much zinc can interfere with copper and other medications. Let me tell you about someone I will call Maria, 79, from Albuquerque. She had started living on toast, tea, and crackers after her husband died. She was not trying to harm herself. She was lonely and tired. Once her daughter helped her build simple protein breakfasts and hearty soups with beans, chicken, and vegetables, she said the smell of garlic in the pan came back before her appetite did. Then the appetite followed. Synergy tip: zinc works better when the whole plate improves. Do not chase one pill while the rest of the diet is falling apart. Number 4 is blood sugar control. Here's what it does inside you. High blood sugar can damage small blood vessels and nerves. Think of your nerves like phone lines. When sugar runs high too often, the insulation wears down and the signal gets scratchy. That can affect feet, eyes, kidneys, and yes, smell. A cross-sectional NHANES analysis reported that smell impairment was present in 22% of adults with diabetes, compared with 15% in controls. Even if you never develop total smell loss, years of erratic blood sugar can make the whole system less sharp. The consequence, if ignored, is not just a weaker ability to enjoy food. Many people start seasoning heavily, eating for texture instead of nutrition, or missing signs of spoiled meals. So what should you do instead? Start with the practical basics. Build meals around protein, fiber, and color. Take that 10-minute walk after meals. Do not drink your sugar if you can help it. If you already monitor your glucose, pay attention to patterns, not isolated numbers. If you feel wiped out after breakfast every day, that is a clue. If you are not sure where to begin, ask your doctor whether an A1C check is due. Let me tell you about James, 82, from Macon. He told me every dessert in the house seemed to call his name after dinner. His morning numbers crept higher, and so did his fatigue. When we shifted his breakfast away from sweet rolls and toward eggs, fruit, and plain yogurt, he did not just improve his glucose. He told me one morning, while peeling an orange, I could smell the spray again. Here's the part that should concern you most if you snore, wake with a dry mouth, or need an afternoon nap every day. Smell depends on rest and oxygen too. Here's what it does inside you. During good sleep, the brain performs cleanup and repair. Think of sleep like the night crew in a busy store. Shelves get restocked, spills get mopped, and broken things get fixed before morning. But when sleep is broken by repeated airway collapse, the brain and nose both pay a price. A 2021 meta-analysis of patients with obstructive sleep apnea pooled 397 people and found a general olfactory dysfunction rate of 73%. 73%. That is not a small number. So what should you do instead? If you snore loudly, stop breathing in your sleep, wake choking, or fight sleep at red lights, bring it up. Do not minimize it. Ask whether you need evaluation for sleep apnea. Tonight, you can also do the basics. Keep a regular sleep schedule, limit alcohol close to bedtime, avoid heavy meals late at night, and try to breathe through your nose, not your mouth. Let me tell you about Evelyn, 76, from Phoenix. Her daughter thought she was just tired. What I noticed was the dry mouth, the morning headaches, and the story that she had stopped noticing the smell of bacon unless it was right in front of her. After treatment for sleep apnea, she felt clearer, kinder, more awake, and more present at breakfast. Her family noticed before she did. Number 6 is not a food or a gadget. It is a decision. Take smell changes seriously. Here's what it does inside you. Your olfactory system is closely linked to memory circuits. Think of smell like a back staircase into the brain. It reaches old emotional rooms very quickly. That is why one whiff of cinnamon can bring back a whole childhood kitchen. Researchers at the University of Chicago followed nearly 3,000 adults, ages 57 to 85, and found that those who could not identify at least 4 of 5 common odors were more than twice as likely as people with normal smell to develop dementia within 5 years. In the same research program, 39% of older adults with complete smell loss died within 5 years, compared with 19% of those with moderate smell loss and 10% of those with normal smell. Remember that number from the opening? 39%. Now be careful. This does not mean smell loss causes dementia or death by itself. It means smell can be an early marker, a warning light. Think of the check engine light in a car. The light is not the broken engine. It is the signal that tells you not to keep driving blindly. So what should you do instead? Once a week, do a simple home smell check with 4 or 5 familiar scents: coffee, peanut butter, orange peel, cinnamon, soap, or mint. Use the same items each time. If you notice a real drop, mention it to your physician, especially if it comes with memory slips, balance changes, or less appetite. Let me tell you about Ruth, 84, from Des Moines. She came in because food felt dull. Her daughter added, very quietly, that Ruth had also started repeating the same story at lunch. Catching that change early gave the family time. Time to evaluate, time to plan, time to support dignity instead of scrambling in crisis. So far, we have covered airflow, movement, nutrition, blood sugar, sleep, and the brain connection. If this is helping you, subscribe and share this with one person you love. That is my mission here. To give seniors and the families who love them the truth their appointments often do not have time to cover. Now let's come to the item I told you to stay for, because this one surprises almost everyone. You can train smell. Here's what it does inside you. Repeated exposure helps the brain and nose practice detection together. Think of it like physical therapy for a neglected pathway, not magic, repetition. A research protocol published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience described a 12-week odor training approach in 180 older adults with a 6-point improvement on the smell testing scale set as clinically meaningful. A separate pilot study from the Medical University of South Carolina reported that training with 12 odors improved objective smell in nearly half of older adults with smell dysfunction, and 28% reached the minimal, clinically important difference. So what should you do instead? Choose 4 clear scents, such as rose, lemon, clove, and eucalyptus. Once or twice a day, smell each one gently for about 20 seconds while paying full attention. Morning and evening is ideal. 12 weeks is a fair trial. Keep a small notebook. Write one line, stronger, weaker, same, or distorted. Let me tell you about Walter, 78, from Savannah. He laughed when I suggested smell training. 3 months later, he came back and said, "I still can't smell everything, but I can smell my shaving soap again, and my wife's stew doesn't taste like cardboard." That matters. It matters because quality of life is not fluff, it is health. One more practical note here. Do not test yourself only with very strong smells, like bleach or heavy perfume. Strong smells can fool you because they irritate the nose as well as stimulate it. That is a different signal. So use gentle, familiar scents instead, and test them in a calm room, not over a steaming pot when your eyes are watering and your nose is running. And please do not make the mistake of thinking smell matters only at the dinner table. Smell shapes eating, yes, but it also shapes memory and mood. When older adults lose smell, they often eat less, move less, and withdraw more. Meals get dull. Cooking feels pointless. Social dinners become work. Then strength slips. This is how a small sensory loss can begin a larger downward spiral. I have seen the opposite too. When one person regains even part of this sense, the whole house changes. A husband starts asking for tomato soup again because he can smell the basil. A widow opens her kitchen window and notices the scent of rain before a storm. A grandfather smiles because he can tell cinnamon from vanilla while baking with a granddaughter. Those may sound like little victories. They are not little. They are daily anchors. They pull people back into life. That is why I want you to think of smell as a form of contact with the world. Not luxury. Contact. When that contact stays strong after 75, it often means many hidden systems are still cooperating beautifully beneath the surface. If your smell is fading, the goal is not panic. The goal is attention. Attention is how you protect choice. Choice is how you protect independence. And independence, in the later decades of life, is still one of the most precious forms of health you can keep daily. Let's bring it all together. If you are over 75 and you still smell every flower, there is a good chance several systems are working in your favor at once. Your nasal passages are open enough for odors to reach the receptors. Your circulation is carrying oxygen and repair materials where they need to go. Your body has enough protein and zinc to maintain living tissue. Your blood sugar is not quietly roughing up tiny nerves. Your sleep is giving your brain time to repair, and your brain itself is still recognizing and organizing the sense of daily life. Here's what most people get wrong again. They treat smell as separate from the rest of health. It is not separate. It is connected to safety, nutrition, memory, mood, and independence. So what should you do instead? Let me make this easy. 1. Tonight, Notice whether one side of your nose is always blocked and whether your mouth is dry when you wake up. 2. Tomorrow morning, try a simple smell check with coffee, soap, mint, or orange peel. 3. This week, take a 10-minute walk after meals at least 4 days. 4. Add one zinc-rich food and one real protein source to your daily routine. 5. If you snore, mouth breathe, or feel foggy every morning, bring it up with your doctor. 6. If your sense of smell has clearly dropped, do not shrug it off. Write it down, date it, report it. 7. If you want to go further, start the 4-cent training routine for 12 weeks. I want to leave you with something deeper than a checklist. Aging well is not about chasing youth. It is about protecting function. It is about carrying your own groceries a little longer. Remembering your grandchild's name without reaching for panic. Smelling onions in a warm pan and knowing dinner is on the way. Laughing at the table because food still has pleasure in it and life still has texture. When smell fades, people often feel foolish for grieving it. Please do not. Smell is tied to memory, appetite, warning, comfort, and belonging. It is one of the quiet threads that stitches a day together. If you still have it, protect it. If it has weakened, do not assume the story is over. Some causes can be treated, some habits can help, some losses can improve, and even when full recovery does not come, careful attention can still protect your safety and your dignity. It is never too late. If this kind of straight, science-based guidance helps you, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And in the comments, tell me this. What is one smell from your life that you would never want to lose? Fresh bread, coffee, rain, a baby's skin? I read every single comment, and your answers help shape what I make next.